Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Wife Convos. Today we have a very special, exciting guest, restaurateur, chef, real estate investor, transportation owner. Okay, she is just a businesswoman of all businesswomen, entrepreneur from the west side of Chicago. You know what? You go ahead and introduce yourself, girl. I'm doing all the talking. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Ebony Austin, owner of Nouveau Bar and Grill in College Park, 3775 Main Street. So my signature dish is my ultimate grits. That is salmon, crab, and shrimp. And then it's made with the house sauce and our stone grits. So that's my absolute favorite.
So how is it that you ever wanted to get into the restaurant business?
I love the two most important things, right? I love food and I love people. And when you combine the two, it's the perfect combination. You have to have a love for people to have a restaurant. That's just the reality of it. You have to have a spirit of serving. You have to be able to serve people. And I enjoy both. I love to eat. I can eat all day. It don't look like it, but I promise I eat a lot. I snack a lot. And so for me, it was bringing good food and bringing a good spirit to people. And that was what made me open up a restaurant. My mother had one when I was very young. I'm from Chicago, the west side of Chicago.
Really?
Yes.
So where did she have her restaurant? Was it in Chicago?
It was in Chicago. And the crazy thing about it was it sat in a parking lot behind my church, right? And they did it initially to raise money for the church. And so once she opened it up, she had 3 items. So she had tacos, steak burgers, and chicken. Wow. And the line would be wrapped around the corner. It would almost be like your slutty vegan line. Or, literally, it would be wrapped around the corner. And I would be like, oh, my God. And I remember as a young girl talking to one of the ladies. She had just lost her job. And she was like, I just needed to get here to get a taco to make my day better. And it was just like, what? You just lost your job and you just need to get here to... And she was like, no, it's something about when you put love in food and you taste it. She was like, it changes everything. So for me, it showed me that like through food and good customer service, you can change someone's day. Yeah. And if you realistically change one person at a time, you're now changing the world, because somebody else is going to change something else about somebody, and somebody else is going to help with the next person, and you don't even realize what you're doing or what you're creating. So a lot of the recipes that you taste in the food are mine. Again, I grew up with a family that cooked. They cook for real, for real. Yes, I cook. I'm in my kitchen with my staff. The dish you taste, I did the sauces for it. I pretty much do it all in my restaurant because I want my staff to look at me and say, hey, I respect the fact that she does everything that's expected of. Because what I did learn, even before this, I was in retail development. So I did that for Godiva and 1-800-Flowers. And what I learned is, in the key role that I was in, you have to be able to fill in every role, because at any time someone can call off, someone can quit, and then I need to know if you're doing it correctly. So if I don't know how to do it, I'm not 100% sure that you're doing it the right way. And for me, I want my customers to come in and get the same exact service every time they come. Yeah, it's almost like love at first sight. I love at first bite. I love that. Yeah, I like that. I mean, I just really love what I do. I love my staff. And because of what happened with Corona, all the restaurants kind of took a hit, right? So we opened November 4th. November 4th was when we opened our doors for like our soft opening. 2019. Yep, we opened the doors November 4th. I had a very dope, amazing consultant, Mr. Cole. He was amazing. Mr. Cole is very different. He's very stern, but he does it with love, though. And again, you have to, in this industry, if you're not doing it with love, I don't know how you're going to be successful. It's going to take a lot of prayers. Yeah, I still call Greg to this day. I'll call him like, hey, Greg, I got a question. I need you to answer it. And he's always Johnny on the spot, right? And those are the type of people that you need in this industry or in any business. I won't just say in this industry. You need to be able to make that phone call. And Nouveau, surprisingly, when I look at the growth, because when Corona happened, my staff was really scared. You know, it's a new restaurant. We're just now building our name. We're building our brand. Yeah, and my words to them is something has to happen, right? In life. Like nothing ever go as planned, right? God kind of laughs at our plans, right? They're funny. And so when things happen, you just have to be able to readjust. My restaurant was never meant to. So yeah, we were never meant to be a takeout restaurant. So we had to adapt to doing like Uber Eats and DoorDash. And I was like, I really don't want to do it because I don't want it to mess up my brand. Because the experience changes, right? And so we had to adapt to, you know, doing the takeout. But I told them, I was like, I feel like in life things have to happen and it has to shake you up. But it only makes you better if you do it every day. Doing something every day only brings perfection, right? And so I ran my restaurant like it was a room full of people in here, right? And it was just really me, my chef, and my bartender. The entire Corona pandemic, we shut down for 3 weeks. But when we opened back up, we only opened back up for takeout. So we were officially closed for 2.5 months. Because we couldn't do any dine-ins, and, you know, we wanted to protect the customers and all of that.
Did you see a difference?
Oh, my God. My restaurant percentages, and as far as sales, they dropped like 93%. And that's what I tell people all the time, though. You got to have, like, your first plan needs to be your only plan, though, for me. Like, there was no other options. I'm invested in this. So for me, it was like, if I got to come in here every single day, that's what I'm doing. And so during the pandemic, I came every single day because I knew that if I were able to even reach people on social media for them to do takeout, that when I opened my doors back, that they would come back because I knew what my product tastes like. I knew what the experience would be just in doing takeout. Yes. So now my customers that did takeout are my regulars. They're like family now. And then in doing that, it gave me a chance to go back to my first love. I love giving. I'm really big on community. So we were able to do a high school event for the high school kids where we gave them $200. We gave them a meal. We gave them class of 2020 shirts. We gave them a whole swag bag. Yeah, it allowed us to do stuff for first responders, for the medical field. Yes. And then we were able to help companies that were restaurants and boutiques that were going out of business. So we gave out checks to 4 different companies to get them started back from what they lost. So in the midst of our sales going down, we still reached out and helped other people as well. So for me, it was like, okay, the sales going down, but stay focused.
And then they had for your waiters and waitresses the unemployment.
They did. I made sure my staff was good. Okay. With or without the unemployment, I made sure that everybody that worked for me were okay. I made sure that nobody in my staff, even that meant giving away a car to someone who lost their car. So I made sure that my staff was okay. And because we survived, thank God, the pandemic, and we're still here. I'm taking my staff on a trip in 2 weeks. So they're deciding now, we're either going to Myrtle Beach or they're going to Tennessee. They're going on a retreat. It's all paid for. They just have to show up just to say thank you, because people don't have to do what they do. And I've learned that as a child. Anything someone do is extra. Right. You don't count on it. It's just extra. And they came in here every single day as if it was the whole side was full. And for that, I'm grateful. So I have to show my appreciation to my staff.
That is so outstanding how you feel about your staff and how you look out for your people and how you guys are actually just like one big happy family.
But you know what's crazy though? Even when we were going through everything that we were going through, right? I love to see Black women. Like, I love to see us as entrepreneurs. Right. I'm always like, oh my God, that's us again. We're winning again. And so when I can see those two things, I'm always like, okay, this helps me to motivate my staff, right? And as long as I can motivate them, because a lot of my staff, they're entrepreneurs. They have their own, business going. So as long as I can help them and stay motivated while I'm helping them, then you're doing something right. Like, I try to make sure every one of my staff that has a business, I've invested in it at all times. Like, one of my guys just did an art show where, all right, bring me all the art that you didn't sell. We're going to buy it down. Hands down, we're like a real family. I mean, I think that's why I'm so invested in my team, though, because they make Nouveau, right? And I told people, I'm not the only face of the brand, because when I'm not here, they're the face of the brand, right? People look at them, okay, you're part of Nouveau. You are Nouveau at that point. You know what's crazy? When I came to Atlanta, I came here to build a restaurant. So my first company, I own my own real estate investment company. Because, my real estate company does well. So I don't have to be there. I have a real estate company. I'm part owner of a salon in Chicago, and I have a transportation in a non-for-profit that I am currently involved in all of them. But one of the things that got my attention in Atlanta, not just to see African-American women as entrepreneurs win, but I absolutely watch Candy's whole process. Like, I absolutely love her. Right. I love what she stands for. And not only is she a businesswoman, I love how she invests back into the community. Yep. And it's not always in the public eye, though. Right. Even when all of this was going on with the pandemic and COVID-19, if people looked at her page and her story, almost every week she was posting somebody's company to get them business. Like, that's real growth. That's paying it forward for real. Like, when it's not only about you at all. She came here, and she has her own restaurants, right? And she still came here and supported, and I didn't ask her to post anything or go live, and she did. She loved the food. She did. She loved the food. But I just love to see women, like, paying it forward there's no competition, or just, like, everybody's in their own lane, right? And then you still reach across to the next lane to help the next person out. And I think that was just wonderful, because, like, really most people don't do that. Oh, it's definitely a sacrifice. That I can afford X, Y, and Z. I knew that I can afford this car, but I kept my car that was paid for years so that I didn't see a car note. But again, I was really blessed. My mother installed a lot of values and morals, and my auntie taught me how to save. She taught me what credit was at a very young age. She put it's so important. And now when I look back, I'm like, I'm forever grateful, because I wouldn't have known none of the stuff. And even at this age, I've been on her phone line for like 20 years. I just never got off, because I had been on there for like 20 years, because she was the first person in college. I'm like, hey, I need a cell phone. She's like, all right, I'm going to put you on my plan, but you got to keep it within a certain amount of money if you want me to pay the bill. So, you know what I'm saying? Oh, gosh, college was a struggle. College was real. We were buying canned goods. Phone calls was costing everything. Do you hear me? My niece went and got a whole car note and everything. I'm like, hey, what did you do different? Because when I was in school, we were like walking to Burger King, and that was on a good day, right? Everybody talked about that. So I'm like, I'm blessed, though, because she really taught me what credit was, what saving was, how to save correctly, and how to stay under 30% of debt before that was even a thing. So, like, I grew up having good credit. I didn't have to, go through all the trial and error, because my auntie had put that before me. And I would be like, she would be like, I got an 800 credit score. And I didn't understand what it was to have an 800 credit score, Okay. I'm like, oh, good for you, But now I understand how important and how credit takes you places that money sometimes can't get you. So, yeah, you just got to keep paying it forward. Oh, gosh. Absolutely. It's all about building relationships. And that's the thing that I love about Atlanta. I love seeing us work together. I love seeing it. I love seeing the support that we give each other, right? You don't see it really nowhere else. And where I come from, you definitely don't see it. You have to put yourself out there. And I tell people all the time, if you do something every single day, you can't do nothing but get better in it. Because you're either going to change something that you're doing, you're going to find something that you're doing wrong, you're going to find something that you can perfect, you're going to find a way, but you got to be consistent. Consistency is key to success. You have to remain consistent. When I first got my real estate company, my first project was great. My second project, I was like, okay, God, what are you trying to show me? Because this is a disaster, right? And my third one, it got better. But then I sold my second one, right? And then the fourth one, the fifth one, and the sixth, and so forth coming on. I went to school, did my real estate, got all my stuff together, and I never worked in a firm, not for 1 second, because I only went there for the knowledge. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. It takes you so many different places, and I just needed the knowledge of it. And once I got that, I already had the mindset that like, no, I don't want to be a realtor. No, nothing to realtors. I just didn't want to be. Absolutely. It's part of being an entrepreneur. At some point, something has to happen, right? Even in real estate, it has to crash for it to pick itself back up. That's just the reality of it. So you automatically know in 8 to 10 years, real estate is going to crash, right? That's just what it does. And that's what I tell people all the time. Just do it every day. Even when you fell at it, just pick yourself back up. Find some strength from somewhere. Pick yourself back up and... Yes, I'm telling you. My second, and God had to do it that way because my first one was amazing. My second one, I was like, ooh, child. Everything went wrong. I mean, everything. When I tell you, we had people staying there that wasn't paying bills, and they're calling the city. And I'm like, wait, I've only been a landlord for 2 days. Like, I haven't even had a chance to fix anything. Yeah, but now when I look at it, because I did it every single day, I feel like God has blessed me along with hard work. Now I build communities in different states. I mean, it's like that in a restaurant. There were things that happen in a restaurant and staffing. You have to find people that fits the look that you're going for, fits your brand. So like we had to get rid of like 50% of our staff in the beginning, you know? So it was just like, oh God, what do you do? I had my days though at Nouveau. Like I've had them days, them come to Jesus when I had to go, and I just had to sit down and talk to God and say, hey, I know you put me in this place because I can handle it. So my chef, I've only had one outside of my chef that I have. What I wanted from my restaurant, I wanted a chef that, it was crazy because I knew that I was hiring my second chef within 5 minutes of talking to my second chef. And my first chef would have still been here. He had ended up hurting himself. So that's why my first chef left. So he was a replacement of my first chef from hurting himself. But when I met my chef and I said, hey, I need you to make my favorite dish or whatever, because I called Greg. I said, hey, my chef hurt himself. I kind of need plan B. And so he said, I got somebody for you. And in 5 minutes, I'm like you, I go off of energy. And I'm like, okay, he can cook. He loves people.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to stop her right here because I want the chef to do his own introduction. So you guys will just have to stay tuned to part 2 when we have the one and only chef that can do it no better than any other chef from Baltimore down here in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, and that is going to conclude this episode of Real Wife Convos. Everybody, I'm sure you are giving a big, healthy applause for Ebony Austin. It was so amazing interviewing with you today. And we'll see you guys next week with another special guest. This is JoJo in these streets. And I'm signing out with Real Wife Convos.